In high definition, this is Fox 2 News in the Morning.
I started to walk over and see what they was looking at, and I seen two little butt cheeks sticking up down there. And
the best find you can imagine. Two little butt cheeks sticking up in the air as 3-year-old Joshua Childers is found. More details this morning on where he was found and on the guy who found him. He apparently was lost too. That story straight ahead.
A St. Louis police officer on the force for 6 years is shot. How he's recovering this morning.
And it's a dry morning commute in St. Louis. Sun's about to come up and temperatures look pretty good today, but yeah, there's still a chance of rain. The details are just ahead.
And the 5 o'clock hour, everyone was on the move, and as you see, we're entering the 6 o'clock the same way.
Good morning once again, everybody. Welcome into Thursday, May 7th.
Let's get a check in with Glenn. You say some showers maybe moving in later today?
By the afternoon, I think, and evening, and maybe even overnight tonight, too. It's a cold front that's dropping in from the north and west, so right along that front, there could be some stronger storms, maybe some isolated severe storms, too. But as we speak now, we are dry, good to go with temps near 60 degrees. It's a fine morning meteorologically. Hopefully a good morning drive, too. Monica's got the details.
Absolutely. We just showed you South County. Here's North County. 70 and 270 drivers. You're on the move whether you're north or southbound.
All right, an amazing end to the story that captivated the region since Monday. This 3-year-old little boy lost in the woods and found alive more than 50 hours after he went missing.
The little boy was moved overnight to Jefferson Regional Medical Center and is waking up there this morning. Fox 2's John Brown live in Crystal City with new information on this story this morning. Good morning, JB.
Hey, good morning, Margie. What a great end to this story. I know a lot of people yesterday were pessimistic that this young boy who had been outside for, 50 hours at that point would be found alive. He had spent 2 nights out in the cold, in the rain, creeks in the area, all sorts of wild animals, and the story ends out like this with really too many elements, not to say that it seems to be a miracle. So 3-year-old Joshua is doing just fine this morning here in the hospital in Crystal City. And again, an unbelievable story. Now, this is a picture of Joshua arriving at the Iron County Hospital not long after he was found. A boy with no food, no water, and some of the roughest terrain in all of Missouri, found about 3 miles from the home where he first went missing. We talked yesterday about just how bad the weather was in the search area, but that too ended up being an amazing part of the story. The man who found Joshua actually had to stay home from his construction job because of the bad weather. So he had nothing to do. He decided to go down and search. And then he too got lost while searching.
you know, we got separated. I took the sheriff and him had come up on the hill to look at some footprints, and I took him back down the hill, and I got separated with my party, and I was just out there by myself. And then I was just following the roads back, trying to work my way back out, and I just seen 2 dogs off to the side down there messing around, and I started to walk over and see what they was looking at, and I seen 2 little butt cheeks sticking up down there, and run over there and said, "Hey, bud," and he just sat right up. I said, "You want to go home?" He said, "Yeah," and he put his arms up, and I got him and carried him down the hill.
I didn't know there was this many good people in the world, but there's so many people now, I don't know how to thank everybody. My boy is safe, and I owe it to everybody that's been out there in the last couple days.
I don't know about you guys back at the studio, but I have kids as well. I still get chills every time I hear the soundbite of the guy saying he looked over there, saw the 2 butt cheeks up in the air, and the little boy raised his arm and said he's ready to go home. What a great story. By the way, he was only wearing a shirt and 1 shoe apparently. He had lost the diaper somewhere along the way, and as we all know by now, he had lost that other shoe close to the creek. Reporting live in Crystal City with some great news this morning, I'm John Brown, Fox 2 News.
You know, JB, I'm just watching you, and truly, I mean, to see a smile on your face after the last 2 days of being out there in that rough terrain, I mean, you had to have think the chances of them finding this kid were dwindling, and it's so nice to see you smiling, you know, and to have this great news this morning.
You know, as you become cynical when you cover stories like this because they rarely turn out like this, and I'm just glad that all the people who came down yesterday after hearing they need more searchers didn't have the same amount of pessimism as a lot of other people because they still believed, and had this guy not come down on his day off, this story may not have turned out this way. So truly unbelievable story, Margie.
Yeah, an incredible story with an amazing ending. All right, John Brown, thank you so much. We have more on that story now. News of Joshua's safe return answered the prayers of his great-grandmother in South St. Louis. Janet Schulte, Joshua's great-grandmother, said the child's father didn't sound like himself anymore when she talked to him on the phone. She saw the man's emptiness while out with searchers and thought Joshua had been through enough. So she decided to pray to St. Anthony of Padua, the patron saint of lost things and missing people.
I said, please, St. Anthony, whether he's dead or alive, whatever the outcome, please let him find him by nightfall.
And they did. As it turned out, Sean Hornbeck's mother, Pam Akers, was at the Childers' house watching as Joshua's parents heard the great news. The story of this amazing rescue continues online at fox2now.com. Check out video links or leave your messages for the family. It is all right there for you on our homepage.
A suspect fleeing from a St. Louis police officer after crashing his car into a building wounds a St. Louis City officer. Fox 2's April Simpson live now in South City with how that officer is doing this morning. Good morning to you, April.
And good morning, Kevin. Well, we're told the officer went into surgery at around 4:30 this morning here at a local hospital. He is a 6-year veteran of the force, and we're told his injuries are not considered life-threatening. He was shot twice in his hand. It was around 2:30 this morning that police spotted a car that was driving erratically. The car sped off. Officers then spotted it again going down McDonald, which is a one-way street. It was going the wrong way. Officers attempted to stop the car again, but the suspect took off, and then he hit an apartment building in the car. The man got out of the wrecked car, walked over to the police cruiser, and at point-blank range, he fired 6 shots into the car. The rookie officer who was on the passenger side ducked. The officer driving the car was hit twice in the hand. He then threw the car into gear, sped away, driving straight to the hospital. Earlier this morning, we spoke with the police chief about these dangerous conditions.
They can't take anything for granted, but they're doing a great job out on the streets of St. Louis, and we're thankful that they're protecting our citizens.
Well, the suspect, he was caught in an alley about 2 blocks away from the shooting scene. The revolver that was used in this shooting has also been recovered by police officers. Live in South St. Louis, April Simpson, Fox 2 News.
April, any idea, do they think the suspect may have been drinking or was drunk?
Well, Kevin, actually, we did speak with the chief about that. He tells us that it appears that the suspect was possibly intoxicated, but he also had that head wound. They said he was possibly so drunk he could barely even stand up when they were taking him into custody.
All right, April Simpson live there in South St. Louis. April, thanks. New information this morning on the whereabouts of a Columbia, Illinois man whose wife and 2 boys were found killed inside their home. Police now say Christopher Coleman was not working the night before his wife and 2 sons were found murdered. They say Christopher was working out at a gym sometime Tuesday morning when he called police, worried when he could not reach his wife on the telephone. Police found the victims just before Christopher Coleman came home.
In a case like this, any lead is a good lead. We want to talk to anybody who has anything at all to do with having knowledge of this, of the family, friends of the family, neighbors, associates. We're not going to count anybody out. We want to talk to anybody.
Not only is the Columbia home under surveillance, but also a home in South County where the Colemans lived 3 years ago. It's owned by Joyce Meyer Ministries, where Christopher Coleman works as a security guard.
Online outrage. Federal prosecutors want a Missouri mother to spend time behind bars for the MySpace hoax that led to a teenager's suicide. They want Lori Drew to serve 3 years in prison for the scheme that led to the death of 13-year-old neighbor Megan Meyer. Drew is scheduled to be sentenced May 18th in Los Angeles. More than a dozen students at Northern Illinois University are homeless after fire ripped through their fraternity house. The fire broke out early yesterday at the Omega Delta house in DeKalb. About 13 people were inside, including one who jumped out of a second-story window. No word on what started the fire. The school is working to get housing for those displaced students.
Time right now is 8 minutes after 6, and it's time to check in with Glenn and see when that storm's moving in. How about it, Glenn?
It's possible this afternoon with this cold front that's moving our way. We see a couple of scattered showers and storms, but the start, we're good. Morning temperatures are just fine. We're holding near 60 degrees in many spots, 61 officially in Metro St. Louis. And check the rest of the region out. Pretty good to go. 59 in Olivet, 58 right now in Afton, 57 in Arnold. Baldwin is 58. Cahokia 52. Mascouda right now 55. So a little cooler away from the downtown area, and we're fairly clear too. That's nice to say, although clouds and showers on the move. You see some in northeastern Kansas. They'll continue to slide in our direction, so we'll increase the cloud cover here through the course of the morning and then watch for a few of these scattered showers to be in the mix. And I think especially this afternoon, there's this front that's dropping in from the north and should be a little closer here by this afternoon. So that's our best chance of rain. High today looking pretty warm, near 80 degrees this afternoon with that southwest wind. So we've got a warm, somewhat humid, and maybe a little stormy day today. We'll talk more about it and show you that weekend outlook too in a couple of minutes.
All right, if you're headed downtown for work or perhaps for the Cardinal game this afternoon, you might want to pop into Keener Plaza.
Yeah, here's why. The St. Louis Convention and Visitors Commission will have a free tourism trade show from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. The idea is to help you plan your staycation here in the St. Louis area. That's when you stay in town and enjoy the local attractions. There will be exhibitors, music, food, and lots of giveaways.
Sounds good. Casualties in the Southern California wildfire. 3
firefighters now injured, several homes destroyed. Why fire crews are having such a tough time battling the blaze.
You're talking about hundreds in one tree.
Plus, Alfred Hitchcock, anyone? Why hundreds of giant birds have suddenly invaded one Texas town.
And a live look at SLU Hospital in South St. Louis. A police officer shot just hours ago with non-life-threatening injuries. April Simpson on that story for us this morning at 6:10.
Fox Thursday's all new first.
I want a baby.
Whoa! Bones drops a bombshell or two.
You'd be a very good donor.
And all new Bones. Then the final two face off as the most startling finale begins.
Your biggest test begins right now. Are you ready?
Hell's Kitchen finale.
Tonight, starting at 7 on Fox 2.
Tens of thousands of St. Louisans are looking for work. Get free advice that could land you a job. Call Contact 2's Call a Career Counselor today on Fox 2 News at 5.
There's one hospital in Southern Illinois where you don't have to be a patient to get care. St. Elizabeth's Hospital, Belleville.
Why is it raining? Lose the rain.
Roger that.
No rain, no rainbows.
Could you tell us what's going on? Yeah, your cake is en route, the tulips just arrived, and the groom is...
He's getting cold feet.
I'm okay. No, I'm not.
Look, we gotta go now. The light's perfect.
I need the stunt groom now. What's a stunt groom?
Jackpot.
Get work done now. Nextel Direct Connect with GPS tracking. Only on the Now Network.
Hi, this is Joe Forshaw with Forshaw St. Louis. Visit Forshaw for spring savings on the finest outdoor furniture and get a free patio umbrella with any 5-piece set. That's a $240 value. We won't be undersold, and Forshaw's quality furniture will last a lifetime. We also feature outdoor barbecue kitchens, so you can custom design your own perfect family retreat. Improve your environment and save money doing it for beautiful, economical outdoor living.
There's no other store like Forshaw.
825 South Lindbergh, just north of Highway 40.
It's the kitchen table conversation that's happening just about everywhere. How to pay this month's bills, how to plan for next month's. Ameren UE Budget Billing, the simple way to level out your monthly UE bill to the same amount based on your average usage. So looking forward, you'll know what's coming. And these days, knowledge is power.
This edition of Fox 2 News is sponsored by Ameren UE.
The raging wildfire in Southern California injures 3 firefighters. Fire officials say the 3 were burned when their fire truck was taken over by flames. The wind-driven fire has burned hundreds of acres and several homes in Santa Barbara. About 13,000 have been ordered to evacuate. A state of emergency has been declared by Governor Schwarzenegger. The top American general in Afghanistan says dozens of civilian deaths blamed on a U.S. airstrike may have been caused by a Taliban grenade attack. This incident happened on Monday. Hundreds of civilians in 2 villages were killed, including women and children. President Obama has expressed regret for the deaths. We'll have more on the Afghan incident in a live report from D.C. in about 10 minutes. Well, the government bank stress test will be released later today.